Welcome. I'm glad you're here. I'm Maggie Lukowski from Maggie Moon Tarot, and here are some of the energies for the week. And I'm waiting for my glasses. I was on the sunny side, but it was a little too bright, so my glasses haven't adjusted back to the shade. So hopefully they will, and you can see my eyes. But this week, and I'll also talk about the month's energy because I wrote my energy for 2021. I haven't published it yet. But I forgot to write for December, and a friend sent me a message and said, "What is the energy for December?" So in numerology, we're in a 7-month because 2020 is a 4, and then you add the month of December, which is a 12, added together is a 3, and then the 4 and the 3 are the 7. And the 7 energy is about spirit. It's about hope. It's a spiritual energy, but it's more of a yin energy. It can be the energy of the mind. We need space in a 7-month. And also in Tarot, it's the Chariot card, and it's quite interesting because the Chariot is a card of movement, and 7's more of an internal energy. So I would say this is moving ourselves internally. And when you see the Charioteer, he has 2 sphinxes, and it's a white and a black sphinx, so it's kind of the yin yang energy. So it can be pulling us a bit here and there, but to actually go forward and do it internal, because 7 is more of an internal month, we have to be centered. And you'll notice the Charioteer has the wand, like the magician's wand. So he has the will, the internal will to try. And also you'll see behind is the city, the walled city. And it's telling us sometimes we need to step out of our comfort zone, and it can be our internal or our spiritual or our own comfort zone to really step out there and feel what this energy is bringing us this month. And really it talks about faith, having faith in ourselves, having faith in each other to be able to go forward, especially for the new year. And when I break down, we're in a 4-year, so that's been, the structure has kind of been shaken this year. And then when I look at 12 as the 3 before I add it to the year, it's about also finding things that we can be grateful for before this year ends. And also in the card, I look at colors and the yellow. So it shows hope, it shows brightness, no matter what is going on on the outside, because 7 is more of that spiritual internal energy. Trust in that. Trust in that the sun, yes, is going to come out. So you may take a look at this card and see how this moves you this month, where you're going to be called to move internally. And then anything that we do on the inside is also expressed on the outside. So that's a little bit about the month's energy. And as I mentioned, I'll be writing and talking about next year's energy probably in the week or 2 to come. And so let's get on to our reading. And I'm reading with the Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron-Reid. And I had this page open because at the end it had a particular quote that I wanted to read from. And the first card is Round and Round. There's actually a shell, and you can see a picture of a face inside. And it feels like we've been going around and around this year. And sometimes there's a reason for that. Maybe a reason that we can't see at the time. But what I'm getting from this card, and for you it may have your own meaning, is sometimes we repeat things, we repeat patterns, maybe because we haven't learned them, but also there's something deeper to see. And that will, once we look a little deeper, we are able to get out of that circle of just kind of repeating. Also, it has the stars in the card. It looks like this is in the sky. It looks like a shell, like a nautilus, but it also looks like it's in the sky. So it's about the cosmic energies and just the energies around us, the energies that support us to help us maybe get out of that circle. And sometimes when we are feeling like we're spinning our wheels or going around the same thing, there's something that we need to look at. So this card's asking us, what do we need to look at to move forward? And maybe move forward like the Chariot internally. And then the next card is time for a nap. And maybe this card comes midweek. It can come anytime for me. I'm one of those people that can just take a nap pretty much anytime, any place, and I can feel refreshed. And sometimes it just takes us, it's a little fox there laying, napping on the moon. And sometimes we need to slow down, to stop for a bit, to see, to restore, to refresh. And also, sometimes we're so busy and say, no, I don't have time for this. And a lot of people say, well, if you take a nap, you can't sleep. That's not always true. As long as we don't, take huge naps, short cat naps can really revive us for the day, and we can still sleep. I just tell myself at night, I am going to sleep, and I get myself ready. But this time for a nap is just a break. And whenever we do take that time to rest, that's where the great ideas come from. That's when we, either in a dream or just we get up and we have the energy to do what we want, and then we have some ideas. But it also gives us a transition in the day if we do need just to be quiet. And it may just not be a nap, it just may be a short meditation that we take. So naps are a good thing. And then our last card for the week is go to sea. And that's actually where I'm at right now, visiting. And this card talks about being in the flow. We see a girl in her boat, and she's not working hard to move. It's almost like in the book, Ask and It's Given. I think it's Abraham Hicks' Ask and It's Given. It's about putting our rows in the oar in our boat and letting it steer us. Because sometimes when we really fight the flow of things, that's when things can kind of get us all turned around. But when we're willing to go with the flow, and release. Not that we don't have plans or we don't take action, but just allowing, not being so tense and too much in our mind. And this is water is around this card, so I often look at the colors of things. And this is a 7. I didn't notice that before. So it talks about the energy of the month. So letting things, and this is, a busy time of year with Christmas and Yule here in the Northern Hemisphere. And, there's a lot of things we can and can't do, things that we were doing differently this year. And so this go to sea may remind us that it's okay. Just let things flow. Don't get too attached to things. Don't try too hard. Don't let other people make us feel that what we're doing is not enough. It's enough for who we are. And I liked the quote in the book. And at the end it says, an ancient mariner's saying applies to you now. When fishermen cannot go to sea, they stay home to repair their nets. And that talks about that slower energy of the 7, the spiritual energy. It also talks about the time for a nap, the time for rest, and not going around and around. So wishing you a wonderful week and a wonderful month, because we've talked about the energies of the month. You can always find me at MaggieMoonTarot.com. So brightest blessings and peace always.